And we are back. Let's just wait for people to join in. All right, let's wait for Mandy. There we go. Connecting. There we go. Let's just give it like just a few seconds so that people can just jump on.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah, no, we're touching all the points today.
Yeah, I am glad, sis. At least we need to be productive so people can come back and enjoy this.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, cool. We've just spoken about trust between model and photographer. And now my next question, which is like my third last question, building relationships with photographers. And also I think to go with that will be how accommodative are you towards collaborating with upcoming photographers, for mutual benefits.
Okay, so in terms of that, with building relationships with photographers, what I've noticed is that whenever you are shooting, let's say maybe I'm booked by a certain client and then I meet this photographer, how we end up that day will determine so much in whether we're gonna work together in future or not. Because first things first, if we don't vibe, we cannot work together. We're not gonna waste our time, irregardless of how talented we are. Because at the moment, I've noticed that it's easier to work with upcoming photographers other than photographers that have been in the industry. Reason being, usually with upcoming photographers, they are very hungry. They are willing to listen. They are willing to learn, to compromise so that we work together, not work against each other. Whether on the other hand, if I'm now going to start working with an established photographer, they come in with this mindset that they know it all, and sometimes they could be making a mistake. As human, you need to know your limits. If you see that this person kind of knows way more than you, even though they are like inexperienced, it is so crucial to listen to what the next person is saying, because we can learn by just listening. Listening is a skill. Unfortunately, we all don't have it, but sometimes, as dominant as you are within the planning of the shoot or the conducting of the shoot, when you see that somebody is willing to give you a pointer, always listen and find reason in whatever it is that they're gonna say. But usually established photographers, I'm not gonna lie, in my experience, majority of the time, they were like, okay, no, we're not doing this. It's my way or the highway. And then what happens is that since I'm not happy with what we are doing, it shows in my face, and it shows, even though I might look happy and whatnot, people can see and feel the emotion on the final product. So if we all want to be happy, it's good for us to like kind of listen in and dwell to what we both bringing to the table, so both parties can be happy. So in terms of that dwindles a lot whether we're going to have a relationship moving forward or not. And sometimes I've noticed that kind of following photographers online, it's very helpful, because the kind of work that they produce says a lot about what they're gonna kind of want to do. And what I do is that I don't only check the paid shoots that they've done, I check the personal shoots that you do. You see those shoots when you're playing around, because that says a lot about where you are going and where you want to be. Because as much as I could be established and working with all these big brands, there is a final point in life where I want to get to. There is a goal that I'm headed towards to. Obviously for those goal-driven people, but I'm very goal-driven. There is a certain point where I want to see my career headed, or where I want to align my brand to. So in order for you to pull your brand towards that finale point, you always need to listen and work with brands that align with you. If I see you hanging out with the wrong crew, or maybe you are posting the wrong stuff that does not talk to me, it's problematic, and it would also damper on the brand that I'm trying to create. Because as much as we are creating brands, Not all of them are doing it for fame. Not all of them are just hungry for what people are gonna, not all of them are even hungry for the followers, because that's not even gonna pay the bread I eat. At the end of the day, it's all about working with people that aligns with you, that gel with you, and people that are going to teach you something in life. When I leave a shoot, I want to make sure that I had learned something. If I don't learn, I want you to like poke my mind to a point where I get home and I want to start researching something new, bettering, nurturing my mind, growing my brand, and not just the brand, growing my vision at large, other than just going there and wasting my time. So with that, if I see that the people are literally pushing towards a goal that is quite similar to mine, I keep those people closer to me, knowing that my final destination will be probably brighter than I actually envisioned it to be.
Yeah, no, very interesting. I think the last question on my side, well, I'll make it the second last. I think something just came to mind. What are the common boundaries that SA photographers cross when dealing with models, or rather at photo shoots?
Okay, so first things first, I've noticed that like colorism is a huge issue. Majority of the time with like mostly people that I've worked with, I get there and when they see that you are darker, automatically they start complaining about your complexion. They start complaining about your appearances. They literally tear you down to a point where you're like, okay, hello, listen. Do you understand that if this was a European shoot, they would be dying to be holding me in front of them, not holding like tangibly, but literally like watching me, wanting to work with me. Europeans actually respect us South Africans more because we are diverse. If you look at me right now, there are a lot of people who have told me that, okay, you've got kind of Indian features, you've got like East African features. They get to see that. It's said that as South Africans, we do not see the gold that we have. We always try and get the tanzanite that we don't even produce in our own country, forgetting about what we have. And even if you check not just the photography aspect of things, the industry at large, what they do is that they try so hard to work with people that are from like West Africa, East Africa, forgetting about the southern girls that are here. How sad is it that majority of the time, if we prosper, if we do so well, we do so well far from our own home ground. And mind you, with us being South Africans, we should go further. We should be pushed whenever we are doing stuff, but we are not pushed enough simply because you look at something very tangible right in front of you and then start wondering too much about the next thing. And then by the time you get back, people would then start saying, okay, this person has changed because now they now work with abroad clients and whatnot. So I'm not going to lie, from personal experience, I've actually been embraced more by the European market other than my own market here at home. My own market sees someone like me as ordinary. They would always tell me that I'm not dark enough. I am not tall enough. I'm not this enough. Forgetting that, you know, those little things that make me that make me not suitable or not bookable are stuff that I actually needed so much in the market. But South Africans, like, we don't appreciate the gold that we have. Like, those are my last words. We strive for a tanzanite that we don't even produce. So it's time we try and look into our own people that are right here in front of us, because the diamond is always literally a doorstep away from you. But however, you will always go an arm's reach to reach something that is too far. So that's why I'm saying usually colorism, yay, that plays a huge factor in our industry. But I guess I am how I am. And that also plays a huge role in our mental health states, because we go through the most worrying about why we are not being booked, why I'm not a certain way. And you get people who are even going to go to an extent of bleaching just to look different. They'll tell you that if you're South African, at least be lighter in order for you to be accommodated in this industry. And that is very sad. What happened to what Mama said? You are beautiful, my child. It's sad that a South African usually does not tell you that. They will tell you how it's easier to rather work with somebody that is lighter skinned or somebody that is skinnier. We always being compared instead of us being like just welcomed as we are as individuals. So yeah.
All right, cool. Another question just came to mind. But you might not have answered me fully. My
Okay.
question was, what are the what are the most common boundaries that SA photographers cross in South Africa, in your experience and
Yo.
generally?
Okay. So, yes, the boundaries that they usually cross is that when they see us as models, they automatically assume that birds of the same feathers flock together. Simply because somebody else has come into the picture and made mistakes, they tend to think that we are going to dwell and make the same mistakes that another individual has made, a fellow colleague has made. So usually the boundaries that they would cross is that they would start now wanting to make relationships with the models, and which then becomes a problem immediately once you start saying no. There's this word of mouth that spreads that, okay, now this specific model acts a certain way, and the industry is too small, because then now if somebody hears something bad about you, whether it being true or not, they automatically assume that, okay, now I can't work with this person. The streets are too small, and photographers wonder a lot. And then now if they're going to go to another photographer who says that girl was difficult to work with, like I said, people deal with different demons. What if that demon never aligned with the kind of demon that I had? You see, it then becomes a problem. Just because I didn't gel with you, I start saying bad things about you. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like a well-known person. Right now, you can't look at me and be like, okay, that's a recognizable face. So that plays a huge factor, because then now those people do not even know who I am. They can't even find my contact details and try and communicate with me what exactly it is that I've done. So usually those are the boundaries that they usually cross. So even in terms of body language, yes, we speak vernac, but sometimes they speak vernac to a point where they derail us as women with the kind of words that they use. That's why I was talking about with the body postures and stuff. Rather show me rather than trying to explain it. Because if you're now explaining it, we've got 11 official languages. So basically, chances are you might start trying to explain things a certain way, only to find that you like trolling me without even knowing. So this whole thing of personality clash, it then plays a huge role, and then automatically that becomes a problem. But what I always say is that I do not want to go to a photographer and have a photographer asking me out, because immediately once you start saying no, you then deemed with this light, and they literally highlight your name. Okay, that one is a red flag, that one do not work with, and that's a problem. I cannot speak for myself if I'm not going to be at each and every single shoot. So usually I would probably say that's one of the biggest hurdles that we probably cross as models, because what we are painted as is exactly what people envision us to be, and they probably think we're going to be exactly like that in the next shoot or so. So yeah, that's probably going to be my answer. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no, definitely. This time you did, 100%.
Okay. All
Another
right.
question that just jumped on, possibly the final question. I don't know if you guys have questions while we still have Mandy. Clara Benz, I see you silent watching there. Why are you so quiet? Do you want to greet us also? Do you have your face beat on?
Hey,
This,
Clara.
here's the
Hey,
stuff we
Clara,
did.
don't
Oh,
beat
by the
my
way, that's
face.
Mandy. See that again?
Oh my, full Tom. I need to get that. Is oh my
So yeah,
gosh.
Clara, just tell us if you want to greet there, and maybe just tell us a bit about the experience of when we shot that. Also, that's Mandy, guys. Clara is the one that painted the face. There's
Oh my
Mandy. There's Mandy. She's all over my house.
no.
So yeah, that's some of the
Thank
stuff
you. Thank you.
I've done with Mandy. I'm still gonna print out some more, and Mandy doesn't even have this at her house, but hey, it's whatever.
Oh my
Um,
god. Okay, I'll explain of life in Dun.
yeah. Clara, do you want to greet quickly? Do you have your face bit on, or are you out clubbing? But yeah, the final question that I've got on my side,
Yes.
sorry about that, is then as a model or rather as a creative, how do you remain rooted in your craft to make sure that you're not easily derailed from your vision?
Okay, yeah, that's a very, very interesting question. So I'm gonna go back to spirituality. So, guys, mental health is a humongous issue in the industry. So, first things first, how I keep myself rooted is that I'm always out there. Like, I make sure that I do whatever it is that keeps me calm and that keeps me sane, which is praying a lot. I pray a lot, and I also patla. I believe in glozis. So I talk to my glozis before I even go somewhere so that they can literally pave my ways so that I can get to a place and now be accommodated, not just because I don't believe in myself or whatnot. I simply do that to keep myself rooted, mostly spiritually grounded, because at the end of the day, like I said, there's auras, there's vibes. You will find people that you clash with, and that happens everywhere, even at any workplace. That occurs each and every single day. But with me, just by doing that, meditating, hearing my thoughts before I walk into somebody else's place, that actually helps out a lot. Because then now, with that being said, I'm going to be so grounded to a point where whatever voice that comes in, I am able to block it out from miles away before it even comes closer to me. So I'm not going to lie. I talk to my people, and when my people approve and gives it a thumbs up, I come there running and I shoot. And guess what? With allowing my people, my archangels to talk to me, that allows me space to draw more work, to produce to the best of my abilities. Because in order for you to unleash that alter ego, you need to speak to it. You need to deal with that demon inside you so that when you get to the next place, you literally get there and flourish. I always hear this thing of saying you are a seed. So what my
Yeah.
mom says is that when you get to somebody else's place, it's almost like you are being planted. So if I'm going to walk into your space with a bad aura, I'm going to become a bad seed that is not going to produce any fruit. However, if I come there spiritually rooted, grounded, after dealing with all that I am going through, I then become a seed that blossoms within your place. I might even become a baobab tree that is probably gonna last for millions and millions of years. Because how I leave you feeling says a lot about the kind of person I am. I can't get there and have people saying a lot of bad things about me. Because usually we might think that people are horrible, people are toxic, but once you get there and start spreading them with positivity, trust me, it will reflect that back them to them, and whatever negative thing they were trying to put across and paint it to you, it literally get blocks out immediately. Because if the energy is good, if there's synergy, everything just literally flows. Even toxicity could then be seen as a joke. That's why with certain people, when you're shooting with them, anything can literally become banter. But with some people, even a simple joke will then be turned into something that does not even exist, simply because there was no synergy, there was no alignment within the space. So align yourself, work on yourself before you start going to attempt to work with people like Abo Stills by Tom. Trust me, they already have their own issues and they don't want to be dealing with our own dramas. So let's
Yeah,
deal with not become
shooting.
geometry.
Um, but I think with that, what you really answered is more of in a shoot environment. So I would like to grow it further and talk more about like in general as a creative. I think I'm exposed to a lot of people, a lot of energies, a lot of celebrities, a lot of different people. But I believe that I'm so grounded that I've not found myself derailing from my vision. You know what? I'll hang out with an international soccer player, but for me, it's just work. It's just another client for me. Whatever they're smoking or whatever they're drinking has nothing to do with me. I will stay grounded to my vision, and I think that's one of my strongest points, actually. Because I've been exposed to a lot of energies, as you say,
Sure.
a lot of places, a lot of environments. But from my side, I think also maybe even the way I was raised, that has kept me alive for such a long time and grounded. And I think my longevity will be prolonged. So what keeps you grounded, like in general, to make sure that you stay true to your vision and you stay true to yourself?
Okay, so okay. first things first, like you've mentioned that that's probably how you were raised. And I think it also reflects back on me. I am Betty, and first things first, we always taught from a very young age that an elder person is your mother or your father or your uncle or ntonton. So automatically, once you get to a space, regardless of the age difference, if somebody is superior to me, I need to give them the most utmost respect ever. So I literally walk into a place, and what I always tell people is that I'm very bold. And usually when I walk into a room, a lot of people will probably be like, okay, this person thinks they know too much, or they like Miss Goody Two Shoes or whatnot. So with that being said, like I said, I sit in my little corner. Don't just go and jump into people. People might be dealing with stuff. People might have had a bad day, and then now they can't also have you to deal with. So how I stay grounded is that I stay true to who I am, and I follow my principles and everything else that I've learned at home. Because like I'm gonna say this in Pedi, ke ngwana wa ga Kgobe, as in like I come from the Kgobe clan, and funny enough, I'm also from royalty. So with us being from royalty, once we get to people, whatever it is that I'm gonna say, it's gonna reflect back to my surname, reflect back to our royal clan. So I wouldn't want my uncles to be like, okay, why did you even allow people to push you to an urge where you're gonna say such things? Because it's tiny little things that can taint my image. Even a life like this, if I say something wrong, it could also taint my image, because how you address yourself is how you are to the world, is how people will view you, and your last words literally will be installed forever. And even tiny little things like thinking before you say, I usually keep quiet because I don't want to say stuff that are literally going to hurt the next person. Because at the end of the day, I do not want to have a bad line hanging with my name. Because if people now are starting to say bad stuff about your name, there's a lot of negativity that is tagged within your name, on your name. It's just least, there's going to be baggage that's literally coming from nowhere. So with that being said, my mom and dad, whenever I leave the house, they're like, Mandy, remember to respect people. And the best people that you like, if someone could walk into a shoot and be able to respect a tea lady, that says a lot about how they were raised at home. Don't just get there and look for somebody who is heading the entire shoot and then only give them respect. You never know who Tom is. You never know who Tom knows. And you never know if our paths will ever cross. So what I always do is that I try and portray like the best Mandy that I could ever do. Not saying that I live a double life, but I try install it too much that it becomes an anthem wherever I go. Whatever it is that mama says, respect whoever that you're going to meet. Respect the next person that is going to be walking outside. And if you can give something, give it. And all that I do when I get to a shoot, it's not about me giving what I have or showcasing what I have. I try and put my talent out there. From the start of the interview, I've said that my modeling is a calling. So if it's a calling, if it's meant to heal people, I want it to do that. If it's meant to upset people, I want them to do that. Upsetting, I mean the content that we are going to produce. My content must be powerful enough to be thought-provoking. It should be a conversation starter. I want people to look at it and now start wondering who this person is. Wondering, is this person this? Is this person this? Look at models like your, what's her name again? Your Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks has left a mark by just being beautiful and being like, and guess what? It's not something that she's portraying. It's not a front. It is herself. She is iconic today by being true to herself. Look at your imams. With them, they literally being true to themselves and being themselves. It's either you like me or not. Like, it's gonna be black and white, no gray areas. So same applies to me. If you come towards me or if you've worked with me, you'll know Mandy is like this. There is no gray area. Like, it's either she's black or she's white. So you choose that and you continue with it as that way. But if we are not meant to work together, then tough luck. We are not meant to do that. And I don't want to force things. I'd rather not be booked and only get one gig that is literally going to sustain me a lifetime, either than getting something that I'm going to get booked at and literally not even create the most powerful conversation starting iconic content ever. Because if I'm gonna come, we need to murder and put a tombstone on whatever it is that we do. I don't just want to go there and then just touch surfaces and not ruffle them too much. I want to get there and make something that is very incredible, to a point where the next model could be like, I aspire to be Mandy.
Allah, Allah. Allah, Allah. Me too. I want people to aspire to be like me.
Come on, Malum's Tombe. You know we aspire to be you. I mean, like, look at your
Sure. Yeah, and you mentioned something very important about what story a picture can tell. And I mean, people come to my place and they've got so much to say about these pictures. And usually it's even different. Like, people interpret them so differently. And that's what actually shows me the power of photography. And, you know, I think personally, that's why I'm actually so emotionally attached to these pictures. You know, when I put them up, when I moved to the new space, I actually felt a connection with the pictures. And I feel like, you know, yeah, I think there's a lot that's still going to be done.
Sure.
Yo, guys, yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of questions today. I'm seeing a lot of love. I'm seeing
oh my God.
love. Just
yeah.
Say that again.
No, thank you. I'm just thanking them. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm being
You deserve at least 5 fire emojis from the guys as you maybe just say your closing words. Just 5 people to send out 5 emojis to Mandy. She's given us her time. She's given us her insights. Yeah, you understand. So yeah, man, it's been so wonderful talking to you. Like I said, I've been writing notes.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've learned so much, and I think
I'm also writing notes on my side.
Yeah, no, shout out. I think when we come back from the lockdown, we're definitely gonna come out stronger, better, and yeah. I think we're gonna have you just say your final words. Yeah, we've got enough fire emojis. Shout out, guys. We're just gonna maybe have you guys are dropping very expensive knowledge. Shout out. I think you can maybe just say your goodbyes to the people. And yeah, I think we're going to have Jan wrap it up. And then, yeah, it's a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, guys, with my last words, what I'm going to say is that stay true to yourself. When I was growing up, my motto used to be sarcasm. That's the only, like, that's literally the only thing I'm going to offer. So now, if you check all the pictures that I've done, all of them, they are thought-provoking. And if you think about that, the picture is almost sarcastic. If people are not going to talk about it afterwards, then you might as well just bury yourself. So through all that you do in life, strive to be the most sarcastic people or person in the room, because that's what's going to make you stand out at the end of the day. So through all that you grow through it, and through your mistake, pick them wisely and grow through them and heal from them. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for having me, and a big shout out to Joshua as well. So guys, yeah, thank you once again, and thank you to all my homies that are there. I love you all, guys. Signing out. Stamp of approval.
Shout out, guys. Shout out, Mandy.
My page and follow me. Somewhere there. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'll pin your handle. But I think share this thingy. I'm gonna share the live for those who have just joined us. I'm gonna share the live on my story, so you still have 24 hours to view it. And yeah, thanks a lot once again. We're gonna jump over to Jan and we're gonna conclude.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye, Tom. Bye, everybody.
Cheers, Mandy. Cool.
Okay.
All right, Jan, now we're waiting for you to request, and then we're gonna conclude. The extended version. Mandy, please exit. Cool. Mandy has left. Jan is so quick also.
I think she deserves a round of applause, man.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
there was a lot of knowledge.
Definitely.
There was really a lot of knowledge that she dropped there. I think it was very insightful, both for photographers and for models. I think there was a lot of details that she went back to what we've been discussing in terms of researching your work, being consistent in your portfolio, and those type of things. I feel like it all just aligns back to what we've been talking about. As a photographer, the more you position yourself, the more professionalism that is felt in your work and in what you do, the more it starts also now, the same aura start literally spreading towards your model, or start spreading towards whoever is out there busy looking for your work, basically looking at what you're doing. Because whatever you are doing, people are always observing, even when they're not coming in your page, even when they're not telling you that face to face, they are always just keeping an eye on your on your page, because they are trying to look for some kind of uniqueness, some kind of details in your in your space, in your portfolio, that will motivate them to approach you and start working with you. So it becomes very, very important to be professional, to know when to draw the line, and most importantly, to do your researches. Like, no matter what you shoot, no matter who you're shooting, always try to do some kind of background check. Always try to do some kind of researches in terms of what you want to achieve. Don't just rock up in shoots and be like, hey, I'm just going to be taking pictures. Like, do researches about the surroundings where you're going to be if you're doing it in location. Do your researches about the type of studio you want to be doing. And if it's a collaborative project, try to include other people in part of that researches. Have some kind of Pinterest. Like Mandy said, she's old-fashioned and she has that old mood board that she likes creating. Mood boards are extremely important because it kind of gives a direction in terms of what we are expecting from one another. Let it be pose, let it be composition, let it be colors and everything. So it's very, very, very important. And just a couple of things that I wrote down of that I'll just go back to again for those that just joined us quite late before wrapping it up. First impression really, really, really counts. Like, it's very important the way you address people, the way you communicate to people. You don't have to be the friendliest person ever, but then just keep it professional and be yourself. I think that's the most important part of that. And then people that feel like they know it all, I think that becomes a very, very, very difficult way for working when it comes to models, because we all just learning from each other. Like we say, this whole platform, it's all about learning. As much as we have the experience we are still learning from one another. So that's why we decided to bring on board people like Mandy and then all the other guests we're going to be having. And I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And I think the most important part of this, I think what I really got from it, is to always aspire to align with people that will push you to achieve your goal versus people that will box you in one place. I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned from all this. Try to always control your circle, people you hang around with, people that motivate you, the type of things that you let yourself get into your mind, because that will literally determine if you're going to be moving forward to what you do, or or if you're going to be moving backward. That's what they always say. Show me who you hang around with, or show me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. So thank you so much to Mandy for dropping all that knowledge. I don't know if you have anything else to add there.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I picked up the most, I mean, given the model-photographer relationship, is always be prepared.
Yeah.
Try as much as you can to know your story, so that you make my job easier.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think working together will give us the best results, because as soon as we start clashing emotionally and otherwise, then we won't get the best results. And I think it's upon us photographers to be professional enough so that we cancel all these misconceptions about photographers. You know,
Yeah.
we need to stop the creepiness. Like, I think you just need to reevaluate yourself and always try to remember why you're doing it in the first place. Because
Yeah,
I think
true.
that's where maybe we could possibly be losing it, where now you get overexcited because you're shooting with a hotter model or hot model, or rather, if you're even doing it for the wrong reasons from scratch,
Exactly.
then you're just messing it up for yourself, you're messing it up for us as well, because then
Yeah.
a model goes to a shoot, and for someone that uses their personal space like me, then they might become a bit uncomfortable and whatever not. But I think we need to make photography a safety place where people will feel safe and
Yeah.
will feel comfortable, and yeah, be able to keep growing the industry, because I think each one of us has a duty to keep growing this industry to a point where people will respect it and start taking us seriously. So it starts with each and every one of us to start, pushing it into the right direction. And yeah, from my side, yeah, it's been a very eventful, or rather educative.
Yeah, very insightful.
Night.
Very, very insightful.
Yeah, so I think just to wrap it up from my side, I'm gonna say we're gonna avail these videos at some point. I'm still putting them together, so you can you can DM me your email address, and then I'll try avail them at a later stage. I'll also just try figure out what platform to put them on, and then even whatever other material that we feel like we're gonna continue sharing even after the lockdown has been lifted. I'll be able to then keep sharing them with you guys. And yeah, I think Jan, you can close it off. Oh, we're gonna continue tomorrow. No, definitely, Kay. Actually, I spoke to him. I spoke to Sam yesterday. We're gonna bring him on to speak more about wedding photography, and we could possibly. I think Jan also had someone else in mind.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Anza as well.
All right, cool. And content photography as well. I think that's someone we might need to jump on. And I think what upcoming photographers, as they call themselves, can actually also just send us questions of, the kind of problems they run into as upcoming photographers. Send us those questions so that we can also just try address them. And maybe even one of these good days we could also have an upcoming photographer jump on to, just discuss all the challenges that they run into as photographers. And yeah, I think we're still going to touch on wedding, because Jan and I didn't touch on it much. We're still going to touch on the business aspect of things. And then, I think we would have covered as much as possible, and maybe other topics will come in. And yeah, we're just going to continue having conversations with different creatives so that we can grow as much as possible. But shout out to you guys for joining us. It's been a blessing.
There's just one question I want to answer quickly, which is quite straightforward. So if you are a photographer and you have a passion about it, but then you are very shy, how can one get out of the shyness? I can tell you, I'm the most introvert person when it comes to what I do. Like, I hate any type, like, I really, really struggle when it comes to connecting with people, socializing and stuff. But I literally had to teach myself to come out of my comfort zone for the sake of what I do. So I had to develop two personality, which is me holding the camera and which is me without holding the camera. So what you do is that just start training yourself slowly and watch. There are also researches, there are also courses and videos that you can watch specifically for that topic, because most photographers are not extrovert people. They're quite introvert. So try to slowly start coming out of your comfort zone. Try to slowly start familiarizing yourself with talking to people, communicating to people, taking charge during shoot, because being a photographer, it's all about taking charge. It's just like cinematography. It's all about directing. It's all about telling people what to do. So what you need to do is slowly start building up that confidence in talking in front of people, in taking control, and then hopefully eventually you end up getting there. So that's my answer to your question. But I don't see, people can DM, you can DM the question. It makes it easier because we can just include it into the next topic. I see one person wrote about DMing the questions, but there wasn't that many questions today. There was just a lot of people loving everything Mandy was talking about. Everyone was quite excited about it. So should I close the show?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us one more time. We really appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed the time we spent with Mandy. It was 2 days of very insightful knowledge, and we will do our best to keep all the information and all the videos we've been recording. And on the later stage, when we've built the email list, like we said, we'll instruct and we'll give a direction on how we're going to be posting it and where it's going to be. But don't worry, guys, we're really focusing on keeping as much information as we can about it. So see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. And like always, wash your hands, 20 seconds, stay home, drink your tea, keep safe, and please, please, guys, stay alive. Stay away from the cocoa. see you when this ends because we really want to shoot you guys. Thank you so much for joining us one more time.
Cool. Cheers, man.
Cheers.